Hello. This is a podcast about the Stanley Parable. I am Dave, your narrator for this week, here to discuss the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, the first console foray for Stanley. I am here with Brandon.
You can see there's a sign that says no buckets. Unless, what if the problem here is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain all your strange behavior up to this point.
This is such a bucket paradox. Also here with Eric.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Yes. Your new best friend, the narrator from Stanley Parable, which, I don't know, this kind of takes the cake for me. That's what the whole game is about, is...
Oh, yeah.
You and the narrator kind of going back and forth at each other. So, but before we get into the whole parable discussion, we wanted to do some housekeeping real quick. Give some shout outs to, some people on social. So,
sure.
Eric, what do we got going on over there?
Well, if you want to follow us on social media, we're at Nomads of Fantasy on Instagram and Twitter as always. But we really just wanted to shout out the overwhelming positive response that we've gotten from our RRR episode.
Triple R.
Yeah, that we did 2 weeks ago. It's really insane. It's already within the time that it's been out, it's our most listened to episode in our regular podcast feed by far. And if you don't know, we also have a YouTube channel, which we just put our the audio feed up there if you want to listen to it that way. And, we get a couple views here and there, but our RRR video currently has almost 10,000 views on YouTube.
Which is insane.
And
India loves it.
Yeah, it's all of our Indian listeners coming out, and we really appreciate it. All of the comments have just been so positive, and we've gotten
helping
constructive feedback and clarifications on things
that we said.
Yeah. We just appreciate it so much, the positive response that we've been getting. Recommendations for, more Indian cinema to check out in the future. It's insane. So we just really wanted to say thank you for everyone that has listened to our review and given us positive feedback and everything. Yeah. It really means a lot to us.
The recommendations definitely help too, because I went and watched a couple trailers, and I think I know what I want to slide into our schedule someday soon. So
yeah, absolutely.
We'll definitely be taking a trip back to see that stuff. So,
yep.
Cool.
Yep. Yeah.
Awesome.
And we just do audio, for now. In the future, we always talk about doing video someday. But that'll come at a later date, but stay tuned. We're hopefully going to, start doing more stuff with our YouTube channel eventually, but we really just wanted to give that big shout out.
Awesome. Thank you. And thank you everybody tuning in. Before we jump in, let's take a quick break, and we're going to come back and talk about the Stanley Parable. And we are back to discuss the Stanley Parable, a interactive story game released in 2013. I guess I'm going to categorize it as that. It's not really, it's more narrative driven than any sort of action, but a had won a fair amount of awards when it first came out back in the day, and they just put out a new release of it. Came out on consoles, and they added the Ultra Deluxe jazz, which has all sorts of weird implications on the original game and everything else. Have you guys played this game before?
I had. This is a game that was developed by Crows, right? That's the name of the company. That's the developer.
Yep.
Seems like it's a very small team, but I think I played this on Steam. Like
it was. Yeah. It started out as the Half-Life 2 mod back in 2011.
Get out. That's how it started?
Yeah.
I
it was originally released, in 2011 as a free Half-Life mod. So I played this game, I want to say like 2 years ago for the first time.
Oh, so it's fairly fresh.
Yeah, it is fresh. Because it was free on like the Epic Game Store, and I heard so much about it. I'm like, all right, let me check this out. This is the only game that I've claimed on the Epic Game Store that I've actually played, which is kind of funny. But I still claim them every week just for shits and giggles.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so I played this, and I was just like, I did the same thing I did like last night with it. I stayed up for, into the night trying to get every ending. Like I was just so enamored by it that I stayed up super late, was looking up the endings, trying to get every ending. And then I went back to the original Half-Life mod, because you can still play it. I think it's standalone. I don't think you need to have like Half-Life 2. I think they created like a standalone mod that you can just run for free on Steam. Cool. So I went back to that to check it out, and it's interesting to see where it came from, the origins of it. Because they use like all the Half-Life assets, like some assets were created new for the 2013 release, but like in the original, it's all like Half-Life 2 stuff. So it's interesting. In the narration, like a lot of the dialogue is similar, but it's a
different narrator.
No, it's the same guy, Kevin Kevin Brighting, is the name of the narrator, and yeah, same narrator, but you can tell the voice lines, the line reads are definitely a lot cleaner, and obviously the full release of the game. But it's interesting to go back to the roots and see the origins of it. I don't remember how many different endings. It's relatively short, the original mod. There's definitely nowhere near as many endings as the original, but the same core idea is there.
Where did this idea, Dave? What did you call this? What was your genre?
Interactive story is what Wikipedia says, and I agree.
It's like Groundhog's Day meets exposition, or like meets like
there's a certain paradoxical element to it where you don't know what's real and what's not, and do you trust the narrator?
Right, he's constantly talking to you.
Do you just fuck with him?
Yeah. It's so weird. Actually, it's a blend of a lot of things. I think I would also say that this is a gamer's game. I think if you like your games and you've played a lot of games, you kind of can see the formula. It's, I don't want to say predictable, but
it plays on a lot of the standard video game tropes and stereotypes and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, it takes them and twists them and different stuff. Makes fun of them.
Yeah.
Well, absolutely. I don't know. We even said what the main hook is. If you haven't played the original Stanley Parable, and we're talking about Stanley Parable
2013.
Yeah, but Deluxe,
Ultra Deluxe,
right? The newest release, yes.
And it's going to be very weird. This is a game like no other game, but it's going to be kind of weird how we describe it if you've never heard of this game, because like we just played the sequel, but it's not a sequel. It's like a remaster, but it's not just a remaster. It has the original game in it, but then the way they incorporated the new content into it is very fourth wall and very aware. It's like commentary on like the game industry. Mm-hmm. But the main hook of this game though is, yes, there's this narrator and you're this character named Stanley and you're in this like office, but it's like Groundhog's Day, because the whole point of it is to just do it over and over and over again. And you know what it's like? It's like a choose your own adventure book, but a game.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
So,
but you're just kind of seeing all the different ways you can die and
right,
all sorts of weird shit that you can make happen.
But it's not like a horror game, like the way you die. It's just
Right.
No.
You can't.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
You're getting all these different endings in it. Yeah. The origin of it, one of the original designers, Davey Wreden, I think that's how you say his name. He was like basically aspiring to be a game designer, and the whole idea for this was to basically take typical storytelling narratives within video games and thinking of what would happen if the player went against the narration. So that's kind of the whole idea of the game, is like the narrator is trying to tell a story, but like you have all these different choices. Like this is probably the most player agency a game, has ever given you. 'Cause like you can do the exact opposite of what the narrator is saying and what the narrator is telling you to do. And that's what makes it so special,
It's the paradox of choice, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you know that they know that you're going to disobey, or, then they have stuff planned for every kind of little weird thing that happens, or, something that you might do in one run and you do it again in the next one. And then, I don't know, there's little tweaks that they do because you're walking through the same environment over and over. So those little things you do notice, like a door gets closed when it's open a different run through, or
What's some of the small story that's there that like is kind of given to you, which, like I said, your name is Stanley and you're in an office.
Well, it's a very simple story. You could, if you take the main path, you beat this game, quote unquote, beat this game in like 5 minutes. Like if you follow exactly what the narrator says, like the story that like, quote unquote, he's meant to tell you, like to get to the end, it takes like 5 minutes. But the whole point of the game is to take all of these separate paths and figure out the mystery behind it.
What I was saying is, like, you're in an office and you're told that you're here every day doing the same job over and over again, which is basically just pushing a button and just typing in the computer, which is probably just making fun of like people, like how many people sit in an office and just
office space,
like data. Yeah, totally, right? Data entry and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-ripping, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
But one day, no commands come. You don't have anything to do, so you get up from your desk and you turn around and it's like the rapture happened. There's no one there, and it's not an attractive game. Like, it has this cute art style, I guess. It's very minimal, but as you walk around, it's very bland, and I think it's on purpose. It's just offices, desks, hallways, windows, doors,
cubicles
and that's it.
It's very
just
sterilized, yeah. Just
and
office environment.
And if you looked at this game and you're like, what the hell is this game? Like, it would look kind of boring. But as you're going through, you have this narrator talking to you, and he's the only companion you have is this guy talking to you, the narrator. He's got a really cool British voice, and he is like the heart and soul of this game. He really, if he wasn't so good at his job, I don't think this game would have been as good.
It wouldn't. I don't think it would work without him.
Because you wouldn't look around. But like, he just is so funny in his act. I mean, it gets really ridiculous at points, but
Very animated, yeah.
But yeah, but like, and then that's it. You kind of just go around and you just do things. You can listen to him or you don't. So there's a really popular. Oh, what?
Oh, I was gonna say, I don't know if you were gonna get to this.
I was just gonna get to the 2 doors. This is like where the game
Yep.
kind of leads you into. Okay, so everybody disappeared. They're maybe they're on the meeting room. And you just didn't get the memo. So you're like going through the hallways, and then the narrator says, and then Stanley goes through the left door. So it's up to you to go through them. And if you do, it like cues the next audio file that the narrator says, which is just like in that hallway. And then he went down the hall and went to the meeting room and, oh, nobody's there, But you could have gone through the right door.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
He wanted to go see the break room. Because
the employee lounge.
Awesome. Yeah,
that's the thing that blows my mind about this game is how responsive the narration actually is to what you're doing in the game. Like, there aren't many seams within the narration in this game that you can really see. Like, very fluid. Like, pretty much everything you do, if you like Brandon was saying, if you go right and you go to the break room, like, the narrator starts basically making fun of you. He's like, and Stanley arrived in the break room, and it was okay. It's everything you imagined. Blah blah blah. And then if you just
first colored room,
if you just stand there and wait there long enough, the narrator keeps going. Like, there's more that, like, Stanley loved the break room so much he just stood here and did nothing. Stuff like that. It's just so good.
And you don't know if he's telling you to do nothing or if nothing's going to happen. That's that.
It's all about experimenting.
Stupid, but like, you go into a room that's like the broom closet. If you go in there,
yes, I love
the narrator goes crazy because you're hanging out in there, and he loses his mind and he gets upset.
What are you doing in here?
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track. There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here. It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA. Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused. You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it. Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite." I hope your friends find this concerning.
We're going to get into spoilers here too, so let's hold those off.
Right.
We're keeping it, spoiler free for the new content right now.
Yeah, because we're going to totally give away some stuff in a little bit. But anyway, so you just keep doing this stuff, and like sometimes you die, and it's like dark humor, but nothing scary ever happens in this game.
There's some existential stuff for sure.
But the narrator always is instantly ready to get like to reboot the game, and that's a part of the game. That's why they said Groundhog's Day, because he's like, no, you weren't supposed to see this room. All right, let's start over again. Ignore that you saw this, And other times you'd be like, all right, well, you weren't supposed to see this, but nah, just keep going,
Well, it's the loading screen line that makes me think of like that's like. That is the heart and core of the game. Is on the loading screen. It says the end is never the end. Is never the end. Is never the end. Is never the end.
Right.
It's never loading.
Right.
Loading.
Yeah.
But that's
very
like
cheeky.
It's the Groundhog Day doing the same thing over and over again. But like I loved when I went back to the broom closet, and after he yelled at me the next time I went back to the broom closet. Spoiler alert. It was nailed shut. That son of a bitch.
Right.
Just like those little tweaks and weird stuff that.
Yeah, like
happens.
stuff will on each run of the game, stuff will change depending on what you do. Like either the layout of the office will change, or like Dave said, if you try to do something the same time again that you did on the last run, some little tweak will be there, or he'll have different narration to adapt to the situation. So it's really amazing how many different situations and endings that they accounted for with the narration.
I want to stop. I think if you are interested in playing this game, just play it, because
if you've never played it, you can't get spoiled on this game. Like if you get spoiled on this game, it'll ruin the entire experience of it, especially if you've played the first game and you have not checked out the Ultra Deluxe edition. Like there's a lot of stuff in there for people who have played the original game that will hit a lot harder so we don't want to ruin it for you.
Yeah, why don't we talk about how they added this new version to the game, what they did, and then let's start spoiling some of the stuff and actually dig into this game. But like, who wants to take a shot at kind of summing up what the remaster did?
I mean, they added the bucket.
They added the bucket. Do you think that's an answer to Portal and the companion cube? Because I was thinking like this is like totally
it's very
Portal
similar.
vibes.
The reassurance bucket. Yeah, it's so weird. I absolutely loved my time with this game, but like I feel like it perfectly justifies its own existence just through the story it's telling with like the new content and everything. And it's such an interesting commentary on, like you were saying before, Brandon, the game industry these days, and re-releasing content, remasters, milking a franchise until it's dead. It's like all that stuff is in this game. And like it makes fun of it. It's almost like a parody of itself, while also being a parody of like the entire gaming industry. Because
it's like a 1.5 almost. It's not quite Stanley Parable 2 because it's
they call it the Stanley Parable 2.
I know, at a certain point, yeah.
Which is hilarious to me. I love that
because it's baked in there. Like it's like you redid the recipe, except you just added like a fruit layer in the middle, and like it's the same game with other levels of complexity on top of it.
It's truly the perfect sequel to this game. Like
it's amazing.
It could have been bigger, but like I don't know. I feel like for the amount of work they had to pull off in this game, especially it's an intelligent game. Like I think I applaud them.
The writing is amazing. The writing is insane. And like you said, I view this game, now that I've played through all the new content and everything, as a sequel. Like this is the only thing a sequel to the Stanley Parable could be. Just the way that it's so fourth wall breaking, and that the way that they play with like the meta of the game and everything. Like I just thought they pulled this off perfectly. Like it works when it shouldn't work.
The bucket is pure genius.
It's
when I realized what the gimmick was, I was like, this is such a good idea on how to just like add another layer to the first game. It's like you can play the first game whenever you want, but you can play the new one by just picking up the bucket, and now you're just playing the new version, get new reactions out of everything. It
starts out as a joke, with the whole Stanley Parable 2 showcase and all that stuff. It starts out as a joke, but like as you go through the game with the bucket, like I legitimately got attached to the bucket. Like I felt like I needed to pick it up every single time that I did another restart. Like I'm like, I see that bucket, I need to pick it up. It's genius.
sitting here, let's start spoilers stuff here, I guess.
Let's just get into it.
I just wanted to ask.
We're going to start talking about endings.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, what was the first thing you guys did when you booted up this game? What's the first ending you went for, I guess?
Well, the first thing I did was the prologue, which is like that whole crazy area with like the gym button jumping in.
Okay, so the way this works, if you've played Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, you have to finish the game normally first, like you have to follow the narration until the end, until you do get like the freedom ending where you turn off the mind control device and escape, and then the new content door appears.
Oh, that's what I did. Okay, I just automatically did that on my first try anyways. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. Because I remember how to do that from playing it before. And they know
that's
that.
Not what I did.
Okay.
Is that so? The new content door is on if you say that you've played it before. Is that
so? It's you say when you start it up, it asks you, "Have you played the Stanley Parable before?" If you hit yes,
I hit yes.
It will. Yeah. So if you hit yes, you have to do the game, like complete one cycle of the game first with the freedom ending, and then you get that new content door. Because the first time, what I did was I wanted to do everything against what the narrator said.
That's exactly what happened to me.
So I did the right door. I went all the way back to the cargo storage area. I jumped down onto the catwalk there, and then you get to the area with the blue and the red door, and then he tells you to go to the red door. I went to the blue door. So I went through that cycle.
Wait a minute. I don't think I even found a blue and a red door.
You didn't when the thing's taking you when you hop on.
Did you play? So you didn't play Overwatch, or you didn't play Firewatch?
Yeah, they have Firewatch and Rocket League in the game.
Oh my god!
What?
That section
we're just spoiling
amazing.
It was so cool.
Well, see, that's what I was going to ask you guys. Did you guys look up how to do different?
I only had to look up
some
two.
of them. I had to look up a couple. Yeah, some of them.
How did you know that you had enough? Because I played it until I thought, I'm like, all right, I saw like.
Well, I think I played it recently
or whatever.
I think I played it recently enough where I remembered a lot of the ways to get different endings. Yeah. And since I remembered that, like we said before, if you take the bucket along with you, you can do all of the original endings, but it gives, since you have the bucket, it's like a new twist on it,
Yeah. So like I went to do the freedom. I did the freedom ending at one point, but then I did the freedom ending with the bucket.
Oh, and it prevents you.
As the door's going down, it starts going back up, and you get locked back inside. And I think you just die and you restart there.
Yeah. So like with the blue and the red door, this was without the bucket. I did this because this was the first thing I did. I got all the way to the blue and the red door. I took the blue door, and then it goes to the section where the narrator takes you into like the baby game, and then if you give him like bad feedback on the new games he's trying to create for you, he drops you into Firewatch, and he gets
upset. It's like, fine, if you don't like what I make, then I don't know, maybe you get this bad taste out of your mouth.
I don't think that was in the original game. I don't think the Firewatch and Rocket League
because the Firewatch came out after. Firewatch came out in like 2015 or something like that, and Rocket League.
So when I saw that, I'm like, holy shit, I'm in Firewatch. I'm in Firewatch, and then I'm like, holy shit, I'm in Rocket League. Like,
yeah,
I love that so much. And then even then when he was in the whole sorry Dave, I know we're spoiling this for you.
No, please.
But like the Firewatch section, he like makes fun of open world games.
Yeah, he's like,
freaks out.
He's like, all right, go down and explore. It's like, wait a minute, hold on a second. Oh no, this is open world. I like my hallways and like one or two choices. I don't complete freedom.
And then he drops brick walls down. So you can't go anywhere, and then he just restarts. Well, he drops you into Rocket League after that.
It was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game, just to ease the pain? Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot. Aha! Fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's our backstory? What is our motivation? Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower, perhaps for some sort of twisted erotic purpose. Yes, that must be it. What a fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley. And it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there. Oh no. No, it can't be. It is. It's an open world game. Good God, quickly block it off. Oh.
And then he puts you in a Rocket League because he doesn't like how that's going. So he puts you in a big room, big area, but it's walled in. And the game was playing. I fucked up or I did something wrong, but like I fell in. I went inside the goal.
How close did it look?
It's identical. They cloned them.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how they did it. They must have
Really?
used somebody else's. I don't know how they did it, but they totally just put you right into the. I was looking around like this is.
Well,
identical.
you're not like from a car. You're from Stanley's perspective, so you're tiny, and the ball is like humongous. You know.
Yeah.
And you hit the ball into the goal, and then like when you go into the goal, you fall down.
Yeah, I fell. That's what I did.
I think that's what's supposed to happen.
And then it takes you to this really weird beta area where he's like, I can't talk to you. And he's like muffles.
That
like,
was in the original game.
That was. Oh,
I remember
that. Okay.
Yes. But man, there's so many good endings. And like even without it, I'm always reading everything on the boards. Like the environmental design and the storytelling is always like in the meeting room. I was going around reading all the slides and the whiteboards and everything.
Did you guys collect?
Yeah, that is
get all the collectibles.
pretty funny.
I did, yeah. All the mini stands or whatever.
I
had like
5.
I had like 28.
Oh, you got man, Dave, you missed so much. I had new stuff.
I had like 28 out of 6. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
How'd you have 28?
Because you didn't play the
so
game.
funny.
Apparently.
Oh my god!
If you get all the collectibles, you
I'm
get
gonna go play this now.
You get the figurine. You get the figurine ending, and basically, you like the narrator. He says like you don't get anything when you collect all this, but he's like, oh, he's reminiscing about it. He's like, I like doing that so much. Let's go back to the Hall of Memories
himself. And then he has you go. It's like, remember the first one you got? Remember the second one? Remember the third one? And you have to go get them all. It's
dude. That you know what cracked me up is the video he shows you when you collect the mini stand under the stairs,
dude,
like the Windows Movie Maker video,
1998 Windows Movie Maker, and it's just like
maybe that's where the last one was, on the way to the boss. If you go downstairs,
so if you go into when you're doing the collectibles, if you go into the conference room, there's a literal whiteboard that tells you where they all are.
Oh,
so it's like one of them is in because did you see the flyers for like the figurine collecting committee or whatever it was?
Yeah.
It's like there's a meeting in the conference room. So they're listing out, it's really funny. It's like a conspiracy thing where they're like, oh, I think there's one here. I think there's one here. And like there's a slideshow up showing like potential locations of all the collectibles. And
yeah, like I feel like, I don't know. It's when you're like, just walk around and look, like that's half of the game is just like exploring the environment and stuff like that. Like I probably just got anxious because I'm like, I want to find another ending. I want to go do this. I want to go like I feel hard to stop and read.
Yeah, I would
like
trial and error.
Am I doing the same thing?
The last
over
one
and over.
It's funny. The last one I brought up, it's by the red and the blue doors. So when you go to the cargo area and you jump down onto the catwalk, that's the path to like the last collectible.
Yeah,
with the red and the blue doors.
Yeah, Stanley's there. Do you jump down to the floor after that?
No, that's a different one. There's another one with the cart because that's the one where you like jump to the side and there's like a little rickety path, right? Yeah. There's another one. If you jump off the lift, there's a catwalk with a door to the right, and that's where you go down the stairs to the red and the blue doors, and there's a closet to the right with the last one.
See there.
Yep. But the figurine.
See, you just missed one little thing, and I missed a couple.
So you didn't see
you
didn't see the epilogue and everything, did you?
No, I got the freedom ending. I got a couple different bucket endings.
No, I think you have to get all the collectibles to get like the epilogue where you like, because you have to do a couple things where you restart the entire game, like you quit out the game, and then there's Brandon. Did you get all this stuff?
Yeah,
I had a spot telling me to quit. Did you like hold down the power button to turn it off?
I
just the dashboard and quit the game.
Yes, dashboard, quit the game. That's what I did.
Rebooted the game every time,
Yeah, that's what I did.
And then there's like another character that you're introduced to who's just kind of like the black screen text guy who's just like, hey, like I appreciate that you changed the time, because he's like, what time is it? That's all he does. He's just like,
I got that one.
Yeah, and he's just
But
like,
you have
hey,
to do it like 3 more times to actually get the epilogue option in the main menu.
yeah, out of nowhere though, he's like, he says like, help me, and I'm like, whoa, where's this going? But that's, and then eventually it turns into like, you can get the different numbers after the Stanley Parable, like the 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. I'm up to 7 right now. I was gonna say, one of the funniest scenes to me was, or one of my favorite endings, I guess, is if you have the bucket. All right, so if you go to the right door,
yes,
the door on the right.
I think this is probably the exact same one that I'm thinking.
Yeah,
of.
and then you go down. And he says, and then Stanley took a left to go back on course to the meeting. And as you do, there's that lift. If you have the bucket, you go down.
This is not the one. I have a different one. So go on.
So if you have the bucket and you go down that lift, you're introduced to. He's like, Stanley, I'm actually glad you're going down here. There's something I want to show you. And as you get down there, there's an intervention, a bucket intervention.
Really funny.
And it has like with all your friends, and it's like the choices that they had from the first Stanley Parable were so good. They had the mannequin, they had the cutout of the baby from the baby burning game, the pencil sharpener, the crazy yellow random line,
the adventure line.
Closet door was down there.
Yeah, dude. Oh my god, I was just like, the humor in this game
so
is
funny.
really good. And then you had to like take the bucket and put it in that machine, but the bucket won't let you, so it just explodes every time, right?
Yeah, that's
I didn't try. I didn't want to put my bucket in there, so I didn't even try to put it in there. And it doesn't let you do it.
Yeah.
The first time I did, and the second time I didn't. It just moves back. It just doesn't want to go in there.
Interesting. I didn't even try it. That's fine.
So what did you think I was going to say then when I was going down that?
One of my favorite endings is you grab the bucket, you go down the right door, and then you go all the way to the cargo bay, and then you go over the lift to the room with the phone. And you pick up the phone and you get like the apartment ending, and like you're like fantasizing about you being in this relationship with the bucket. Like this bucket is like controlling you, and then the narrator starts to like fall in love with the bucket. And then there's one part where the bucket is like in your bedroom, and basically Stanley and the narrator both want to fuck the bucket. Like that's what's implied. Like it's amazing. That was probably I died laughing.
The glitch one where you go out the window with the bucket.
I did. That one was dark, man. That one was dark.
It was. It just became like a whole.
Like, how would you even know to do that though?
So that one. That's when I had to look up. That one I had to look up.
I looked up a couple
because I had to see what I missed.
I didn't cheat.
I wanted to make sure I saw everything.
How far, or like how far does it get taken? Because as somebody,
the epilogue is amazing.
How many endings there are?
Yeah. You have to see the epilogue after you collect all the figurines.
Looking at an ending diagram, which shows like the decisions that you can make, the bucket and non-bucket endings, and all that kind of stuff. And there's way more than I thought in here.
I have to bring up the skip button as well. That was one of my favorite sequences.
Oh, that was.
That's one of the first things you do in the new content.
That's the prologue, right?
Yeah, the prologue. Yeah. So they bring you down. You go through the whole. That's the first time you go to the memory palace or memory zone, whatever they call it.
Is that like the museum?
It's like a museum. Yeah.
It's
basically.
Which there's like, it's funny because there's like 2 separate museums. But yeah, the new memory zone or whatever it is. And then you're going through all the fun memories, the positive stuff. And then you get down to this section of like the pressurized gas reviews, which are this negative steam reviews. They like lock them away. I thought that was pretty funny. And then one of the criticisms of the game in one of the reviews was like, one of the people said they're tired of listening to the narrator drone on. They wish there was a skip button so you could skip over their narration. And so the narrator gets all offended and he's like, you want a skip button? I'll give you a skip button. And so you go in this room it's just a big yellow button in the middle of the room, and it's a skip button. And you can skip over, the dialogue and get to the next thing. But the way they handle this is amazing. Like the door disappears behind you. So you're trapped in this room. And every time you skip, the narrator says like, Stanley, you've just been frozen in place for like 5 hours, and I've just been sitting here talking to myself. And every time you skip, the time between the skips gets longer and longer and longer. So like one time you wake up
Hours,
and this narrator's
days,
like,
weeks.
you've been standing frozen for weeks. Yeah. And eventually the narrator goes away and like you just keep skipping and you're stuck there. And eventually like the room starts to collapse. And finally the room is so deteriorated you can escape. And you're just like, it's like the end of the world, you know, there's nothing but desert.
It's fucking desert. Yeah.
I'm like, this is insane. Like, I don't know. I did not expect all this stuff from this game.
It goes far out, like on those whims, on those paths out there. Like, and that was a pretty long ending, if I do remember. Like, because I sat there and tried to listen to him like in between skip buttons, and I'm like, well, what happens if I just sit here and do nothing? And that dude just kept talking and talking and talking, and I'm like, all right, I'm getting annoyed.
That's the only.
Just gonna hit the skip button.
I did find one. That's the only seam that I found. Eventually, in one of the sections, if you sit there long enough, the dialogue does repeat. So I'm like, okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's not. It's not full for, but like the amount of dialogue that they had just for that section, and that's all new stuff. That's all new content. So, they brought the narrator back and recorded all this dialogue for the Ultra Deluxe edition, and it's insane.
Dave, one of my favorite bits is when you first start the game and you go through the first room. This is where one of the glitch endings is. There's a window to the left. If you go up to the office chair, you'll start to,
it's like
walk
desk 419 or something like that.
Yeah, it's just the one in the up right corner. Well, anyways, you get on that and lets you go to on top of the desk and then out the window. It's a big bright white window, and just do it with and without the bucket. One of them is fucking hilarious.
It is so good.
It's the one. Yeah, it's the one where you go with the bucket. Where
with the bucket. Yeah.
When the narrator does the bucket voice, it's just a funny voice.
I was gonna say, should we give it away or should we let Dave figure that one out? Because I don't know, Dave. Do you want us to spoil it for you?
No, you guys can go ahead and spoil it. Like I will go back and basically find some of these endings, but
basically the bucket is like a possessed like wizard or something that's been trapped in the bucket for however long, and he's trying to escape and like take over the world. And Stanley has to kill the bucket. So the last scene is the bucket with a knife through it, and there's like a pool of blood with the bucket just sitting there. And oh my god, it's hilarious.
If it had seen its own darkness with a clearer perception. This was way too much for Stanley.
What are you talking about?
He screamed.
You're a bucket!
To this, the bucket furrowed its brow.
No,
said the bucket.
not since the evil wizard Gambhorata first ensnared me in his machinations as payback for the sacred amulet I stole from his treasured vaults. I was young back then and could not conceive the ramifications of... No!
Stanley screamed even louder this time.
This is stupid! You are a bucket! This is so stupid! Why are we even doing this?
As Stanley screamed and screamed and screamed, the bucket revealed its true form, transforming into a mighty beast of untold power, its fangs glistening like... My God, Stanley, you did it! You saved us from the bucket. Thank God you already had all 12 emblems of sages and knew the incantations to summon their true power. Otherwise, we would have easily been overwhelmed by the...
I feel like I've shortchanged myself by not...
Dude, I would just... Yeah, look up stuff. Because, like...
Just go on YouTube and watch where they are. Don't watch what they do. That's what I was doing. I was just like, oh, if I go down the elevator and I go back up and down it like 3 fucking times, it unlocks like a whole new... Like, I wouldn't know to do that.
Was that in the boss's office?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, See, you can go down and
I was
go
sitting
back
in that
up the
elevator playing with the button for like 10 minutes by myself.
If you went back up after so many times, a door opens up and then you can go through that.
And it's a new area. Yeah.
Yeah, I went down twice, I went up twice, and then I was like, all right, well, this is an elevator to nowhere.
No, not that one. Not that lift.
The other one.
You're talking about the one that's in
the one to the right. That one doesn't do anything. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that one. It had some good elevator music, though. I will give
It did
them
have
that.
some good elevator music. Did you guys take a look? Did you guys do any of like the achievement gags? I know you guys played this on Xbox. I played it on PlayStation. But there's a trophy you can get where the description for it, I'm assuming it's the same on Xbox, is click on door 430 5 times. Did you
No.
either you get okay? This is really good. You both should do this when you get a chance. So to trigger this, you go to door 430, which is like one of the first doors on the right after you get out of Stanley's office. You just click on it 5 times, and the narrator will be like, "Hey, you didn't think it would be that easy, to get this trophy, did you? Just for clicking on a door 5 times? Why don't you do it 20 times?" So you do it 20 times. He's like, that's still not good enough. Let's try 50. So you do it 50 times. And it just keeps going like, okay, now run to door 417 and give me 10 clicks. Now go to door, 417, give it 5 clicks. Now click on the copy machine. Now go back to door. So you repeat this cycle for a while. And it's actually kind of tricky to get. I had to look up how to do it. Because what you have to do, the last step is he says, okay, now for the final thing, go click on door 416. There is no door 416 in the Ultra Deluxe. That's the new content door. So what you have to do is go all the way up to the boss's office, and then right as the door is about, you have to time it exactly right. Like you have to go in the boss's office and then come back out as the door closes. So if you do that correctly, all the doors open back up, and you can go all the way back down.
Yeah,
back to door 416.
Yeah, how are you to know that?
No, I had to look it up because there is a different ending that you can get. The escape pod ending. Did you do the escape pod ending?
No, I wanted to, but I just ran out of time.
That's the one where you have to do it's kind of like a glitch where you have to go into the boss's office a certain distance and then go back out, and the doors will shut behind you, and then all the other doors will open.
Okay.
So yeah, it's really cool.
I saw it with the bucket. I saw because the animation, it's very sincere. He's he's putting the bucket in the thing, and it was like, oh, that's.
There's a couple funny achievements and trophies you can get. One of them is you keep the game running for 24 hours on a Tuesday or something. That one's cumulative. So if you play a total of 24 hours on a Tuesday, you get the trophy. Another one is this was in the original game. Don't play the Stanley Parable for 10 years. That one you can hack if you mess with your system clock. But there's just really, really funny stuff like that. Achievements that.
Tons of fourth wall breaking jokes. A lot of at one point the narrator says that you're not Stanley, you're somebody playing a video game, and starts directly speaking to you, which is also kind of fun and creepy. But yeah, I think not knowing, I don't know, because it's weird because it's not a linear, obviously not a linear game, because everybody's gonna walk through and make different decisions in different orders as you go.
I mean, the narrator wants you to be very linear.
Yeah, but how do you know when are you done playing the Stanley Parable?
I was gonna ask you that,
never.
Do you think there's content that is still hidden in this game that has yet to be discovered?
Oh,
do you think everything's been figured out?
I wouldn't be surprised. With
how some of those achievements are, I bet you there's
the achievements,
all sorts of weird stuff.
And there is some convoluted things you have to do. Like I was just saying for the escape pod ending, you would never figure that out on your own unless you did it by mistake, something like that where you're trying to time it where you can go out of the door before it closes and stuff like that. But I wouldn't be surprised if there was still stuff hidden in there that people didn't know about.
I hope so. I really hope so. I really hope so.
Because I thought I saw a fair amount, but I completely missed sections of the map because I didn't know to jump down off that ledge or whatever. So to me, I thought I did a fair chunk of stuff. But...
Well, that's where my opening quote came from, because I jumped off with the bucket, and then it's no, there's a door with a sign that says no buckets beyond this point, and if you don't, it's Stanley, did you not read? It's I don't think you know what a bucket is. Do you not know what a bucket
God,
is?
the game show.
So then you play a game, and it's so really fun. Then you go into this room, and he's like, okay, Stanley, just come in here. And it's a little theater, and you're just okay, I'm going to just put stuff in front of you, and just tell me if it's a bucket. yes or no. And the first one comes up, and then I went, I feel bad because Dave hasn't experienced this stuff, but the gags are really good.
I mean, I have to go back now.
Yeah, you do.
At least because it's different. Like, you telling me does not give it credit for,
Well, it's all in the performance of
what
the
goes
narrator.
into it, and it is like it's the experience of actually doing all this weird stuff. So
One of my other favorite gags, Dave, that you probably did see, is the infinite hole.
That was good.
Yes,
That was really good.
I didn't go back into it, though. Apparently, if you keep doing it, he fills it up.
He
gets
fills
mad
it
at-
up?
Yeah. I saw that one on YouTube. I'm
I
like,
think
I'm not
I
going to go
got
all the
to-
way to do that, but I saw that, and I was like, that's a good one.
Well, I got to a point where, the hole was like 2 inches deep or whatever, and you wait there until you get reset.
Yeah.
I didn't go in it again after that. But yeah, the part where you're like descending down and you can mess with all the different, like the music and the, how Stanley looks and all that. Like, that was really funny.
You know the big room with all the screens, and then you go through it's like the happy ending or whatever, and you take the you hit the buttons and you go across the catwalk and you go to the next one. Apparently one of those computers, I didn't do it, but apparently one of those computers you can go and glitch off of, and so they're I call them glitches. They call them glitches because it's like because they know you're gonna look around for this and see that stuff, so they call it the glitch.
That's one of the ones that I didn't do either.
And you fall down into that dark abyss, and there's a whole gag there waiting for you. And
I tried playing with the wife. Wife did not appreciate the humor and the gags.
I don't think my wife would appreciate it.
I think it's for people like us who are just playing games.
Well, and
to get
you have to know the tropes that they're making fun of as well.
Exactly. That's what I mean.
Yeah, because they're messing with everything, turning everything on its head, making you think one thing, and kind of
what it is as a sequel. Because he's like
Mickey.
How he defines it as a sequel is Stanley Parable 2, and it's just the way he goes on this whole thing about like it's a sequel. It's got all the things.
The new
he's
content.
always like, yeah. I got a question. Do you think that the there is like an actual story to this? So like when you're playing Portal, and you think that you're just doing tests and you're just like a test subject, but there's actually a hidden story, with like the escaping Gladys, and then it, like you realize, there is a whole other story to Portal. Do you think that that's happening in Stanley Parable? That like there is a hidden story hidden there somewhere? Do you like the mind control center? I've never been able to do the ending where you stop it from detonating. Is there a way to stop?
I did that in the I think I did that in the original.
Okay. Oh, you can do it. Okay, so it's like
I'm pretty
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Like I see the numbers, but
I want to say that maybe I'm wrong, but I remember doing that. I didn't do it this time on my playthrough. I didn't redo all the original endings when I played through this time. But I definitely remember the countdown sequence when I played it a couple of years ago, and I want to say that I stopped it, but I don't remember enough.
Good for you.
Off the
Okay,
top
I
of my
could
head.
not figure it out.
You did mention GLaDOS too, and that one I did write that down. That like the narrator and GLaDOS have a lot of parallels where, like, it's the humor, it's the delivery, it's the performance of it, but like it's also like, do you trust this person?
Mm-hmm.
Do like,
Right.
and I mean, obviously this takes it like way further than GLaDOS is more of a character in the game. The narrator, I guess, is a character in the game, but he's also like the game. I don't know. It's weird to explain, but the performances of both, like I would definitely put the narrator up there with GLaDOS for something like this.
The narrator is interesting. Like just like him as a character is interesting because I always wonder what he actually is, because there is parts where he leaves. Like he can leave. He's not like stuck in the game. Like there's parts, I think, in the skip button and like some of the other endings, like he's like, okay, I'm gonna leave now, and he walks away, leaving you by yourself. So I'm always curious. And like the bucket game, when he says, I'm gonna erase all buckets in the game, only the narrator and Stanley are left, and he's like, oh, I guess everything is buckets.
That
Like,
one is, dude.
Dave, you got to do that one.
That one is good. Yeah, like everything is a bucket, and
Everything is a
questioning
bucket.
everything. That one is really good. I like I feel like they didn't lose their. If anything, they're funnier the second time around. I don't know, but like they really just come on strong with really good writing and humor. Like when with this new content. Right away, he's like talking about the new features of this new game, the sequel or whatever. And he's like, we're going to add like these other features, like check out this feature. And you can see the features. So you walk over to the game knows your name. So go ahead, push the button. But it says Jim. And he's just like, all right, well, we haven't gotten that far yet, but eventually it'll be other names. So, for now, it'll just be Jim.
This Jim button's good.
He's trying to put you in the frame of mind by like telling you all about Jim and how you feel as your Jim and stuff like. And
then he's like a cultist. It like takes a turn. Jim's like a cultist or whatever. You gotta imagine it's good. But Brandon, I know you did the epilogue. Do you remember the section where there's all the Jim buttons on the ground?
Yeah, I was trying.
There's one button. There's one button that says Stanley. One button that says Stanley.
God damn it!
Yes.
I knew I should have hit all of them because I did.
I hit all of them
right now.
Yep.
I hit like a few of them, but I was like, oh, see this game. It's just like, just go for it because it probably will reward. You know how like you guys were saying in Breath of the Wild, like just over that hill, there's something there for you. Just go in that cave. There's just behind that tree. Just do that thing. It rewards you. This game, in its weird way, just like, I don't know. What if I just, before I go through that door, let me just keep going down this hallway and just look around the corner. Oh, there's a picture on the floor. Or whatever, like there's an Easter egg or something like that. There's a lot of game Easter eggs I noticed in this.
It's funny because the game teaches you certain things, but you kind of have to disregard those because you never know when they might be hiding something. One example that I found, it's really dumb. It's like meaningless, but pretty much every door that you come across, you can't open, like even no matter how hard, like every door I come across, I always try to click on it just to try to open it. But there is one door somewhere in one of the endings where it's like the whiteboard ending. Did you guys find that?
No.
Yeah, the confusion endings. What is this room? Is like a timer, right?
No, it's literally just a closet. You open it up. All it is a room, like a tiny room with a whiteboard on it, and it says whiteboard ending. And I think this is new for Ultra Deluxe. There's a little tiny drawing in the corner of the whiteboard that says dog mode. And you can click that on and you can just go around every time you press A or X or whatever, you bark like a dog. I don't know. I got a kick out of that. It was so funny.
It's such random stuff and it's tucked in like such places that, without checking or without knowing, like you never really know if you're done or like you never know if you've seen it all unless find a guide and kind of poke around at the other endings. Because what's one thing that I didn't want to do was keep repeating the same ending over and over again. Like I did with the Bucket Destroyer or whatever when it talks about the new character, the Bucket Destroyer. Guess what it does? It destroys buckets.
Right.
But like I did that ending like twice, just trying to once because I let it explode. The second time because I tried to throw the bucket in. I'm like, all right, well that was stupid. I just wasted all this time. But,
right. Yeah.
But yeah, not knowing is kind of the part of the curiosity as you're starting a new run and you're starting to look around, or this time you start and there's papers all over the floors, or now there's balloons everywhere in the office for happy 12th birthday to my step niece or something like that.
Yeah,
I got get well someday. I got get well someday.
Oh, see, that's what I wanted.
I went.
Well, you have to choose the opposite because I chose the niece one, and then I was like, nah, I'm going with this one. That's fine.
I got. So which one's the one where you go to an area, it's down low somewhere, and then you walk into this room and there's a cassette player.
Yes, that's the vent. The vent.
Okay, that's what it is. Okay, yeah, the vent. Okay, Dave, did you do the vent?
This is right. This is right where you get one of the collectibles. This is where you're talking about where you go up the little scaffolding section. If you just go off the scaffolding and then turn around behind you, there's a vent you can crawl in.
Yes, I did do that.
Okay, that was good.
If you go with the bucket, that one's not creepy, but it's long and it's dark. It's dark, and it's just a slow zoom into the cassette player. Then you get really close, and then it's just on the cassette player it's saying evidence 252. So I was like, that's wild. But then you can also go down without the bucket and get a totally different thing where it's like the narrator is hearing himself on the cassette, and then there's a whole thing I missed there. I saw on YouTube
where that's what I got.
If you
Okay,
go,
yeah,
there's a
I did
glitch
it. I
in that
didn't.
room
I didn't do it
and
without
find a
the
thing.
bucket. Is that new? I don't remember that from the original game.
I don't remember that either.
Okay,
well,
that must be
would you
new.
have been able to jump down there because you wouldn't have?
I don't
gotten
think
the
so because you
collectible?
got the and then they're right because there's a little ramp you can go up and then jump down to the scaffolding. So yeah, I'm assuming that's new.
Did you guys ever do one ending and then do that exact same ending with the bucket just
Yeah.
to see what
a
happens?
bunch of
yeah.
times.
Okay.
I did all the original, well, most of them original endings, all with the bucket. But yeah, and like it was so fresh that I pretty much knew how the original ending went. So yeah, I wanted to make sure I did all the ones that I remembered with the bucket. And I was pleasantly surprised by all of them.
It is. I mean, it is so cool how they added into the same game, but they added onto it, like, and built
So smart.
built it in and interwove everything into the first version of the game, which is kind of insane. It's like, playing, a second version of a game and having the entire first version already be in it as well.
Like I said, it's the smartest sequel they could have made. I think this is the perfect sequel, or whatever the hell it is. I think they own it. They're just very clever.
This is as close to a sequel as this game could ever get, Yeah. I feel like the only other thing that I wanted to bring up was the museum. Like I did the museum without the bucket the first time and went through all that. It's cool seeing all that behind the stuff.
Where's the museum? I couldn't find it.
This is so if you go all the way down the main path, before you go to the mind control facility, take a left.
Yeah,
big arrow that says escape.
Yeah, if you go with the bucket, a woman takes over and she doesn't want the bucket to die, so you die without the bucket.
So both of them take you to.
I didn't do it without the bucket.
So without the bucket, you go to the original museum that was in the game.
That's all it was. Okay.
It's all the behind the scenes stuff of like the development and concept art and all that good stuff. But then if you go with the bucket, you get the bucket museum, and it's so fucking funny.
They had the history of the bucket and the ancient bucket, like hieroglyphic buckets. And
so good. Ugh.
Yeah, that is pretty classic. So see, there's some that I saw like that are the normal ones, but I think maybe I should have taken better notes as to what endings I was finding as I found them. Because Eric, you wrote them down as
that's
you were
why
going,
I felt
right?
like everything that I felt like I wouldn't remember, I had to write down. Like I said, normally I don't take notes during video games if we're doing them for the podcast, but this one I felt like I had to remember everything that happened because there's so much at you, man. And yeah, it's crazy.
I gotta say, because I just finished playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and looking back at the 80 hours I put in this game, it's just years of playing that game, and what am I looking at? 80 hours of me on and off, just hacking and slashing people and picking up things, and hacking and slashing people and picking up things. It's fun. I don't mind the combat. It's just fun to do it, but it's very repetitive, and it's a long ass game. I don't know if Stanley Parable is a long ass game, but it's as
you can
long
make
as
it
you
as
want
shorter
it to be.
or as long as you want to. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Oh,
and I just think for the amount of content that is in here, that's fresh, because you're retreading the same thing, but that's part of the game, because you don't know what changes sometimes. You don't know when a real reboot is really a real reboot. You don't know when the narrator is just you walk into that room, it's oh no, there's no doors in here anymore. Just instead of two, there's none. It's turn around and go back through that door, and I don't know. It's just so. And then you're hearing all the news about Starfield and how there's gonna be thousands of planets or whatever. It's just is that good? Is bigger better? Is longer better? Or is it something like
better,
this where it's it's just so unique and different, but there's so much content in this. I'll say a small area. I don't know how big the game actually is. There's pretty big ass endings in this game, but I don't know.
Most of them. I mean, most of the endings are less than 5 minutes. But yeah, some of the new ones, like the skip button, the epilogue, that stuff, can take 15-20 minutes to go through the entire thing. But I don't know. I just have to say, playing this game is so refreshing to me because I feel like I have been in kind of a gaming rut lately. Like nothing I've played lately, has really sounded interesting.
Unputdownable.
Nothing is stuck.
Like, I didn't want to stop, and I love that feeling when you're playing a game.
Right.
It's just like I know it's
Dude,
one, but
like
I'm gonna
I said,
keep going.
I mean, I played like an hour of this game on Friday night, and I think I fell asleep during the skip button gag, actually, because I was waiting for him to stop talking, and I actually fell asleep while he was talking. But then last night I stayed up till 2 a.m. just trying to get all of the endings, because
man.
I don't want to stop playing, because it just the way it pulls you along, it just makes you want to keep exploring and keep looking at every little nook and cranny and getting every single ending, and
that's a good game.
Amazing.
That makes you do that. Like I said,
this has to be.
You want to keep exploring. Skyrim, just can't stop.
And I was
what
just
else?
thinking,
what else can they find?
This has to be like the best rating in a video game ever, right?
Hands down, absolutely.
Or ever is a strong word, but it's good.
I don't know, man. Like, it's a different style of writing.
Yeah.
But
I mean, you guys know how I feel that video games don't have the best stories. I don't care how good they are. Like, they always come off like if they were a movie, they would be fucking cheesy. And I think this game is highly intelligent. I'm with you, Eric. I think
it's very smart, very very smart.
Yes, yeah. Nobody's
it has to be though. This game
it's just a different kind of game. Yeah,
sure.
But I mean, it's something that only an independent person or studio could make something like the Stanley Parable.
Totally,
right.
Totally
like,
agree.
This is a shining example of what makes indie games great, and because something like this would never happen. It's completely unique. There's not a game like it anywhere out there. The way that it's put together, and I don't know, the production quality is high enough where it can compete with some of the bigger games. So I don't know.
And it has something to say too. It's not just a game for the sake of being a video game for fun. Like, it does have something to say, especially in the Ultra Deluxe stuff with how it's making fun of sequels, and how itself is a sequel, and like the whole thing where it lets you change the name of the game every time you boot up the game after you do the epilogue, where it's like you can it's like it doesn't matter, like this is Stanley Parable 7, fucking Saturday Night Stapler was one of my
what is a sequel
names.
In video games though too? It's a good thing to ask. Like, the game is asking a very good, like, because you see these games where
like, what does it mean?
They're remastering, or they're bringing, or but they add new content, so it's not the same game. But then some games are games as a service, like Overwatch 2. It's kind of the same thing. Like, what is Overwatch 2? It's saying it's 2, but it's also the first game with like new, I don't know, better graphics, I guess. So, I think it's a very intelligent game. I think it's beautifully written. I think this new version, I don't know, we probably ruined a lot of it, but if you played the first game and you didn't want to buy the second game, or buy this version of Stanley Parable again, I
was reluctant.
I still think it's worth it. Like,
I was going to say, I was reluctant at the $25 price point. Yeah. But like, for what you get out of this game, I think the experience is absolutely worth every penny.
And could you imagine having this in front of a buddy that's like, maybe spend the night, and they're like, "Yeah, dude, just play this game.
This is the perfect game to just play it through in one session and just like stay up all night." And exactly. Yeah, exactly.
You maybe guide them a little bit and like, just go down there.
Better in bigger chunks too, because I played it over a couple nights, and those longer sessions where you're getting into the flow of the repeat and getting used to the narrator and getting used to the gags and all that kind of stuff. I could definitely see it. It's a good point.
Netflix has that. Oh, sorry.
No, I was gonna say, I think like How Long to Beat had like a completionist run at like 10 hours. I think I played like 6 maybe. I didn't think I was going too crazy.
I assume that includes like all the original endings and all the new content.
Yeah.
Because I think I played like 2 hours maybe one night, and then last night I think I played like 4 hours, so probably about 6 hours.
Yeah.
I had a thought that this game reminds me of Netflix's show Black Mirror. It had that weird Bandersnatch,
yeah.
It's kind of like that.
Which was okay.
That was just an FMV game though, wasn't it?
Yeah, you were just making choices, and
You're just
it would
making the
affect the
choices.
story a little bit.
Yeah.
There definitely wasn't as many branching paths as something like this.
They're probably better on the Xbox. Play them on the Xbox. Go play an FMV game.
That'd be fun to do sometime. I know you've played a couple of those before.
I was gonna say, you guys got any wrap up statements here? We've been gushing and
No,
praising
not really.
for a while.
I just encourage developers to keep thinking outside the box. They don't always have to be Elden Ring and Mortal Kombat and Halo. Like, there's so much creativity to be done, and I think you made a good point where I feel like only an independent developer could pull this off. You're not going to see EA or Bungie or anybody do anything like this.
Yeah, I would say I hope you have played this, Ultra Deluxe version, at least the original, before you listen to this. But without the level of writing and the incredible narration, I don't think this game would work at all. But it's somehow pulls it off. The original did, and then they somehow pulled it off again with the Ultra Deluxe additional content. And I don't know. It's like a perfect game in my opinion. It's awesome.
And even if somebody has listened this far and they haven't played it, like
this has got to make you want to play it.
Our shitty takes on stuff do not do credit to the narrator. Do not do credit to the gags. Like, absolutely, definitely go pick it up and give it a whirl. So, it is much more than just a couple dudes talking about it and spoiling stuff. It's I don't know.
Well, I'm going to apologize because I'm going to add the audio clips, I'm sure, to this recording. People have already been hearing.
Gotta have the narrator in there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, why don't I narrate us out of here?
Please.
I think we all love this game, so let's take a break and come back, and we're going to play some Stanley Parable Jeopardy to see how much you guys remember from this conversation.
And the Nomads played a game of Jeopardy.
We're back to play some Stanley Parable Jeopardy. See how much you guys remember from this game. So we talked a lot about endings, and we talked a lot about quotes and Easter eggs and all sorts of fun stuff. And that's exactly what we are going to be jeopardizing you guys on. I believe this is from pre Ultra Deluxe Edition. So this will focus on mainly the original Stanley Parable endings. So seems like you guys played a lot of them. So I'm gonna write down the number.
I feel like you're gonna have the advantage on this, Eric, but we'll see what happens.
Me?
I didn't really.
Why?
Maybe.
Just because I played it more recently?
Yeah, I didn't also revisit the original endings as much. I mostly focus on bucket stuff.
Okay.
But whatever.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Ooh.
Number. Eric, pick a number between 1 and 10.
Why does Eric get to go first?
Let's go. Let's go smack dab in the middle. Number 5.
Brandon.
Oh, 6.
Oh, you fucker.
His choice was inconsequential. The number was 5.
Yeah,
right,
baby.
right in the middle.
Got it right on.
Just to see what happens. So, Eric, you should be able to see the board.
Yes.
Today's categories are endings, Easter eggs, office, gameplay, and narrator quotes.
Okay. Let's start it off with gameplay for 100.
What action can Stanley not perform?
What is jump?
What is jumping is correct.
That gag also got me in the jump circle.
Although,
Which
yes,
did
they
you use
do,
all of your jumps in the first?
Yes, I
blow?
did use up all my jumps.
I did use up all my jumps.
I wanted to see if something would happen, and then I didn't have jumps to save for later. So
I know, I was mad. Let's go gameplay for 200.
What game is the Stanley Parable a mod of?
What is Half-Life 2? That's wrong.
It says Portal 2, but the wiki does
That is
say
incorrect.
the wiki does say Half-Life 2. I gave you those points.
Now I can't trust this Jeopardy.
Well, Portal 2 is a Half-Life mod itself. So.
It's the same engine.
Yeah.
But sure, whatever. Okay, gameplay for 300.
How many instances can you get on top of a desk? In how many instances?
That's a good one. I know of at least one. Actually, I know of at least two. I'll just go with what is 2.
2 is correct.
Ooh.
Eric is charging along. Board is still yours.
Gameplay 400.
Which ending requires the player to crouch? Remember, this is the original Stanley Parable.
Right. Which is funny because we talked about the vent ending, but I don't think that was in the original game. Ooh, this one might be tough.
I think I know the answer to
remember.
this as well. I haven't seen the answer yet.
I'm trying to go through all the endings in my head. I don't know. I'll just go with what was the vent. I don't recall. No ending.
No ending
The trick
requires the player to
question.
crouch. I was going to
Okay.
say the glitch out the window, but I wasn't sure if you fit out the window because I didn't quite
Ooh,
do that one. But
that
I don't know if
one
that was.
might.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was in the original.
I think that one does actually. It was in the original. Yes.
Yeah, I
So,
feel like I had
don't
to
know.
crouch.
That one-
I'm
yeah.
gonna still
That one
take
might
away
be
those
incorrect.
points.
That's fine. That's fine.
Brandon, the board
I
is
got
to
it
you.
wrong.
Narrator quotes 100.
Are you getting tired of this gag yet?
What am I supposed to do?
That sound that you just made, Brandon.
What's the gag?
So if the
That's what.
did the narrator ask this?
I'm assuming it's like,
the
are you
narrator
getting
said
tired
this.
of?
The narrator said this,
This
at some
yet.
point in the game. What
Oh yeah,
gag
yeah.
are they referring to?
What
Right.
is the out of the window glitch ending?
What
All
is
right.
the window ending? Correct.
Nice.
So then
Good.
there you go, Eric. That was from the first game. And he had to
Bored
crouch
to
to
you.
get out though.
I swear you got to crush to get out.
I guess we'll do endings 100.
What ending do you get for turning the mind controls off?
Oh shoot! What did Eric say?
I did say it during the
know this
episode.
one. Yeah, we did talk about this.
Yeah, what did you say?
What did I say?
What is? I don't remember. What you said. God damn it! I don't know. What is this? They escape. What is the escape pod ending?
Freedom
The
ending.
freedom ending? I think that's what you're
Oh,
referring to,
that's when
correct?
it's just like
No, the
On,
escape
off.
pod is a different ending.
Oh, he
no,
said
don't
escape
give
pod?
him that.
yeah.
He did say
Okay.
escape pod.
Okay.
Yeah, this was simply just turning on or off. That's what it was, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
that-
I thought it
like
was.
That's
the-
the one
I
where
thought
you
it was
actually
like
get
the
out.
Yeah, the
detonation
main
shit.
path,
Oh,
the
okay.
original. Yep.
I'm a dummy.
All right, Eric, over to you.
Let's try to finish out gameplay for 5.
Ooh, go big, go home.
What ending was scrapped from the game that can be seen in the museum ending?
Ooh. I just looked at this last night. Oh, it's the Warzone ending. What is the Warzone ending?
What is
Wow.
Warzone ending? Correct. Wow. Nice
The-
pull.
Yeah, they
that
said
was good.
there was an original ending where like Stanley would get transported to a war zone where he's fighting aliens or whatever.
Wow.
As only they could in this game.
Let's go endings 200.
How many endings can you get without leaving the office, i.e., before entering the two doors.
Let me count. 1, 2, 3.
This is where you got to be fresh
entering.
and have played this game recently to get some of these questions. That's why I think it's okay. Brandon, you look like your head is going to explode.
I'm glad I don't have to answer this one, but I'm thinking I have an idea as well.
I think the answer is these are the only the ones I can think of. Was 3?
3.
That's what I was thinking.
The window ending and the cheater ending.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, nice.
Cheater ending.
Cheers to you.
I was thinking of heaven, the heaven ending.
I don't know. I don't know the names for all these crazy endings.
This one is all white.
Well, whatever. 3, got it right. Let's go somewhere else. Let's go Office 200.
Office 2. Which office is the copy machine in?
Which office? Oh, the number? Oh. Ooh,
That's what I'm guessing.
430 something. What is 435? Oh, come on.
The first office?
Okay, that seems like a trick question.
That's
There is a number on the copy machine, on the partition the copy machine is on, but whatever.
I'm assuming it's when you walk out of the
It's right in the first section. Yeah. But I thought they meant the specific number.
Oh, that's crazy. All right, well, let's do Office 100.
What is the first turn the player takes on a normal playthrough?
Right. What is right?
Is correct. What is right? Yes, that's true.
What is right?
What is right?
What is right? What is wrong?
Office 300.
Through which window can you see the secret employee walk by?
I don't remember that.
I don't remember this at all. There's a secret employee.
No, I don't remember that. I gotta look that up.
The break room. What is the break room?
Office 425.
Oh, wow.
Sorry, that's a tough one.
Office 425.
Yeah, that was a tough
window?
one.
What?
I'll have to check that out. I don't remember
Secret
that.
employee walk by. I didn't know there were secret employees.
Me neither.
How did people know a number?
to
I know
me?
that the main character
Back to
Stanley is
Eric.
427.
Right, that's the only thing I know. Let's go endings 300.
What ending takes the longest to complete if you were to play without stopping?
It's the baby ending. What is the baby ending? I think I don't know what it's exactly called, but
baby ending.
the one with the what?
The art ending is the correct answer.
Apparently,
I don't
There's an ending out there.
remember that one.
I don't remember the art ending either. There's so many.
Well, I know
Like,
the
kinda-
baby one takes 4 hours, so if there's anything longer than 4 hours, then I don't know. Detour?
Dave is Googling art.
I was gonna say, cut this out.
Yeah, that's fine. Let's see. How do you get the baby ending in the Stanley Parable? Task is very simple.
It's 4 hours
Push
long.
the red button
So I was
keep
right.
the
Yeah, that
baby-
is it.
from the fire.
No, do the
That's
art
the-
art
yeah.
ending.
Yep, that's it. Yeah.
You said you type baby ending, type art ending.
It's the same thing. So I was right.
That's the baby.
Yeah. Yep, the baby game.
What is the art?
All right,
Look up art though.
That's what the ending is. That's what it's called. The official name of it is called the art ending.
Oh, really? Where does it say that?
The art
oh,
ending
yeah.
right there.
It
That's
occurs when
stupid.
you play the baby game for 4 hours. So I got that right. Come
okay.
on.
All
We're
right.
gonna go to the
Yeah,
judges,
yeah.
and we're gonna give that one to
All right,
Eric.
yeah, we checked it out. It's actually
Yeah.
that's the baby ending. That's weird. I would just call it the baby ending. I think that's what everybody.
Let me check with
I
the
didn't know it
judges.
was called the art ending.
Yep, judges
Can
approve.
confirm.
Back to you,
All right.
Eric.
All right, let's go endings 400.
Oh,
Well,
correct. Nope.
I didn't see it.
How
I
many
didn't see it.
endings? How many endings does the original Stanley Parable have?
ooh, that's a tough
That's a
one.
shot in the
This would be a
dark.
shot in the dark. This is a shot in the dark. I'm gonna go with what is 23. I don't know. That's a random guess.
Good number.
3. Brandon, you got a guess just for shits and giggles while we're...
Yeah,
before I
23
press
felt
this
good.
button?
I'll go with 18.
That's what I was going to guess. 19.
Oh, wow, close. Okay. Well,
Close.
I don't remember that.
All
But
right.
no cigar, as they say. Brandon,
Yeah,
you have
sir.
endings, Easter eggs,
Yeah.
office, and narrator quotes left.
Narrator quotes 200, please.
Night Shark 115. I don't know if I've heard this one. This sounds familiar, though. I do like the part where you're trying to put in
You're
the
getting
code.
the tough ones, Brandon.
Put the code in your boss's office, and you do it too quickly, and he says you're too anxious, and he makes you wait.
He forces you to forces you to listen to some calming music.
Oh, that was a great gag, too.
What is the art ending? I don't know.
Corruption.
Corruption ending. Interesting.
Would you like to? Would you like a Google on that? Are you good?
No, I don't. I'm good.
All right, Eric, back to you.
Let's go. Let's try Easter eggs 100.
What happens if you type bark into the console? I'm assuming this is the PC. Well, yeah, it has to be PC only because it was the original Stanley Parable.
I'm just gonna guess and say it enables dog mode. What is dog mode?
Every time you click, a bark is heard, which is technically
Is
dog mode.
what
I'll
happens
give
in
you
dog
that.
mode.
No, a dog mode would be like you're lower to the ground. Get out of here. You guys are. This
Well,
game's
dog
rigged.
mode. The dog mode that I enabled was every time you click, a bark happens. So
All right.
I mean,
fair
I
enough.
could have took it either way.
Fair
Yeah.
enough.
I'll try Easter eggs 200.
Whose mask can be found during the confusion ending? A mask.
I don't remember this. Mask.
See, you guys thought you got all the endings. Little
I think
did
I
you
did.
know.
I think I did do this one in my original playthrough, but I don't remember this.
There's a mask, but I don't remember it being. I haven't. I think I know who it is.
I don't know. Who is the narrator? I don't know.
Yeah, Payday.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
Dallas from Payday?
So there's one of
interesting.
Yeah, it's like a clown face behind. If you keep going in this hallway, it's down and to the right.
I don't
And
remember
there's
this.
some just crates or whatever, and his mask is on the ground.
Payday, like the bank robbery game?
Yeah, the Left 4 Dead kind of
Interesting.
bank robbing
Okay.
game, whatever. Yeah.
I did not know that.
Huh. No shit. Brandon,
Damn.
back to you. You still got room to plenty of time to catch up here.
Easter eggs 300.
How do you open the 2 doors opposite of the boss's office? I did this normally. I thought this was...
What? What kind of question is that? How do you open the 2 doors opposite of the boss's?
I think I have one of 2 answers.
What is the green button? I don't know. What is the activate button?
Just like clicking on it?
Yeah, clicking on it.
After starting the game, restart the game.
So stupid.
Oh,
What the?
So
okay.
you must have to do that. I
Didn't know
I don't
that.
know if I did that properly.
I thought you either had to go into the bathroom or turn off the computer at the reception desk.
You can turn
I
off
thought
the
it was one of
computer. I didn't know
Those
that.
doors open just fine. I thought.
Yeah, that's where they have that
That's weird.
shitty elevator.
Yeah.
Over to you, Eric.
Let's go Office 400, I guess.
How many alternate office layouts are there?
Oh, there's a couple. I feel like this is a trick question because, well, maybe not. 1, 2. I'm gonna. It's either 2 or 3. I'm gonna go with what is 3.
3.
Yeah, that's
You're
what I was thinking.
correct.
3. I'm like, what was added by the new content that would make this? But yeah, 3. That's what I was thinking.
All right, let's go over to narrator quotes. 300.
but eager to get back to business.
Oh.
I think I know what happens here.
I don't know.
But
Well,
eager to get back to business.
'cause I don't know what they want here. Whether it's just like how this quote is triggered, I guess.
Tell me what happens when you hear this.
What is getting back on track? I don't know.
Back on track from where?
From the, when you go out, when you go take the right door, when you take the right door,
And
cutting back through maintenance, back on track. Okay.
Yes. Yep, I agree. That's
Okay.
what I was thinking. I had that in my head as well. I'll give you that one. After exiting the employee lounge, the site says, but it's you're exiting the employee lounge. You
That
take a
area,
left,
yeah.
cut
Yep.
through. All right, Eric, over to you.
Oh
We're
boy.
still with you.
Let's go Office 500.
What objects can be found in boxes around the office?
In boxes, huh? I mean, there's lots of objects, but in boxes?
It's funny that you said this was Half-Life 2 because like a lot of the office stuff looks very familiar.
I'm thinking like mugs, paper, toilet paper.
There's no toilet paper in this game.
There is a bathroom though, the executive bathroom.
That is true. It is nice. That weird thing scrawled on the wall.
Yeah, I saw that. Changes.
I'm just gonna say, I guess what is coffee cups?
Coffee mugs.
Wow.
Sweet.
Complete shot in the dark.
Wow.
And you got
Educated guess. Educated guess.
Damn.
You got 5 left. Technically, I think Brandon could still catch up here.
If Brandon gets all of them right, if I get one wrong.
Yeah, basically.
Let's go endings 500.
You bastard.
Oh.
How many endings can you get by going through the right door?
All right, now I'm gonna have to count. 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
4.
9, 10, 11, 12. Doop, boop, 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 boop.
Does that include? Okay, yeah, that does include that, I believe. I'm gonna say 6. What is 6?
Correct answer is
14. Holy shit.
14.
Okay. There was only 6 I could think of off the top. Okay, there's more that I could think of. All right.
Yeah, I lost count after
There's a
like
lot of
8.
endings in this game. It's just a smattering of
14. Okay.
Groundhog's Day all over. All right, Brandon, you got Easter eggs and narrator quotes left. You gotta.
All right. Easter.
You got a perfect
Get 'em.
guess.
No, narrator.
All right.
Narrator quotes 500.
5. Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another?
That sounds familiar.
I say that one's fairly specific.
Sounds like with the bucket.
I know.
But it does sound, very like it's.
Mhm.
If you know it, you should know it.
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? Man,
This does feel like a bucket quote too, but
control. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see?
can you see?
You guys don't know what this is, right?
I don't think I know this one.
You picked all the hard ones, Brandon.
I know. I got boned.
Yeah, you have been getting the hard ones. Gotten boned by the hard ones.
What
Look
is
at these two.
the art ending? Dude, I have no
Again,
Is that gonna
go
be your
with the art
standard
ending.
go-to?
It's the crutch.
Female narrator at the end of the museum.
Oh.
Oh, she's talking about
okay.
Stanley and the narrator there.
Yes. Okay.
Oh,
I do remember
Oh yeah,
that.
I didn't
Now
play
I
that
remember
one.
that.
Yeah, I
Now
don't
she
remember
said
that
that.
part. I mean,
I thought that was
did it
cool
the
how they
original
did
time, but-
switch up the narrator at one point in the game and went over to the lady.
All right, get the slaughter over with. God damn it!
All right, Eric, yeah, clean this up. Clean this
Let's
board
try-
up.
Let's try Easter eggs 400.
What door do you click on the most in the click on the door 430
Just talking
achievement?
about this. I believe it is door 430 because you click it 50 times. So I'm gonna say, whoa, hold on. Yeah. I mean, you technically you click on it like
70 something or
75 times. Yeah, because it goes 5, 20, 50. So I'm gonna say, what is door 430?
door 430 is correct. What a tough one. How many? Yeah, that seems like a fairly low hanging fruit.
Oh,
Let's go Easter eggs 500.
How many different writings can be found in the executive bathroom? As
Oh,
we
we were
just
talking about this.
mentioned.
Ooh, I didn't keep track of those. I don't know. I'll just guess. Say, what is 4?
this game.
Correct answer is what is 4.
All right.
Brandon,
I think
almost felt
I'm
bad for you.
done
Oh
with
my
Jeopardy on this
God.
show. I think I've gotten my ass literally kicked, like demolished, and every time I play. So
I can't believe I got
this is
that
ridiculous.
right.
That was good. No, you're
guessed
killing
on
it,
it.
dude. It's just
On a couple of these,
Wow.
you've guessed completely and got it
Oh
right.
my god.
All right,
Oh,
last one.
All right, finish it off.
Narrator quotes for 400. This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Which one
Oh,
was
what's
this?
the ending called?
I don't know what this is called, but I remember
I know
this
the ending, but I don't know what it's called. It's the one where Stanley goes crazy and the woman finds him dead in the street. The basement ending? Is that it? What is the basement ending? Insanity ending.
Yeah,
Okay, that makes sense.
I get that to you. All right. Well, I think that closes out this
Damn.
round of Jeopardy with Eric at 2,500 and Brandon at negative
my God,
1,200.
dude.
Oh, man.
I mean, it's not even like so bad.
Not allowed in Final Jeopardy. We just turn the light off on you.
Go
You
home.
sit there in darkness.
Yeah,
the other players
I deserve it.
Awesome. Well, thanks guys for talking about this and putting in time to play this game.
Oh, it was so
I
fun.
now have homework to do after I thought I was done, and now I apparently have to go back for more. So
You do.
there's more Stanley Parable in my future. There should be in yours too. Eric, why don't you give us some social haps and let's get out of here.
Sure. If you want to follow us on social, you can find us at Nomads of Fantasy on Instagram and Twitter. You can visit thenomadsoffantasy.com for all your nomad needs. You can email us nomadsoffantasy@gmail.com for questions, comments, concerns, all that good stuff. And
What
I
about
think
their
that's it.
nomad needs?
I addressed their nomad
Okay,
needs
their
at
nomad needs are taken care of?
thenomadsoffantasy.com.
Okay, great.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I think that's all we had, unless you guys had anything else.
No, I'm good. Yeah, as always, safe travels, nomads.
Shake those maracas.
Oh, no. Oh, no, 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 not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time.